Good evening, everyone. As I said yesterday while introducing my channel, that I'll be helping you for two subjects, that is mathematics and science. So today I'm here with my first lecture or discussion on the subject science. Let's see and let's try and understand what's science. What does it mean? According to me, science is a subject where you study about your physical and natural world. Now, what it is, you'll say, ma'am, what it is? People may say, I want to what's it is. Yeah, it's interconnected, physical and natural world. Physical world will include living as well as non-living things. Your natural world will include living things. And combination of all these and their interconnection, interdependency will make it as science. And that's why classifying them into separate categories to study them very properly, we study science under three separate streams. It comes like physics, chemistry and biology. So let's make ourselves understand or comfortable. What's physics? What does it mean? According to me, it's a phenomenon. What kind of phenomenon? It's a phenomenon of mechanics, heat, light, radiation, magnetism, electricity, electromagnetism, and number of things. Now, what are those n number of things? The things which are related with mathematics and some structural elements, considering the practical view and the imaginary part, that makes physics. And that's why we say that physics is a combination of science and mathematics. And that's why, my dear children, at times you feel difficult to make out with physics. No problem, I'm there to help you out for this. Before I move on with chemistry, I request every one of you, please support me. Do share, like, subscribe my channel, and I request completely that please watch the complete video instead of viewing it. It may help you. I request once again, please do watch my all videos completely. So coming back to the part, that is chemistry. What's chemistry? It's a composition of various structural elements, and that's why we say it's a chemistry. That means there what you do is elements you try to combine, you try to check out with their results. Now when I'm starting with chemistry, that I'll make you to understand in detail. Next it comes to biology. Yes, the name itself indicates bio. So here we deal with the living organisms. Now today, as this first lecture, I will be moving on with physics. Now physics, what I'll do is for class 6, those children, I'll try to help them with motion and measurements. This is a chapter number 10 in CBSE syllabus, NCERT book according to me. In private publications, the number of topic may vary. Or as these two topics, they may be under separate units, that's motion and measurements. Now why the name is given motion and measurements? According to me, when it comes to motion, measurements are required. They are interconnected. How? So first let's make understand what's motion. Of course, motion, everybody of us know a body when it's at rest position and tries to move. That's called as a motion. But that movements are in different ways, and that's why we need to study motion. Now they are of different ways, they use different parameters to move some fundamental quantities or some quantities present in this world, around the world. They are, as we classify them, non-living and living. Their movement depends on each other. Some are dependent, some are interdependent. That's why we have to study the types of motions also. So first we should know what is a body at rest. What does it mean? Why the body has to change its position. Secondly, how the body is moving by its own or somebody is making to move. And related to all these certain things, small subtopics or terms, terminology, we must be known about it. So first you should know what is speed, what is distance, what is time. So what's time? Time is measurement of the time spent, what you say. Speed means when one body moves from one place to another place, it is moving at what rate, that you calculate. Distance means how much distance it has covered. Now see, distance, measurement has come here, and that's why measurement and motion, they are related. So measurement I'll fall into later. First today, simply I'll make you understand what's motion. I repeat, motion, what it is. When the body displaces means changes its position. The body at rest is changing its position, or else already the body is in motion but trying to change the position again. That's known as motion. Now types of motions: rectilinear motion, circular motion, rotational motion, uniform motion, non-uniform, periodic, non-periodic. And many more are there, but as far as your class 6 is concerned, it's well and good. And before I move on, once again I request all of you, please do like, subscribe and share my video. Next is coming back to science. One thing I would like to remind is that science is not about only these 3 substrings. There are more than 20 substrings. But subsequently till class 12, you study them, or class 10 I would say, you study these 3. So I'm making you to understand about these 3 only, as today I am most concerned about the schooling level. When it goes to the higher secondary, some strings are added, and when it goes to the higher secondary second level, again it's get added. What it is, that maybe a video I'll be posting little later about that also, what kind of sciences we are dealing with around us. Now coming back to your motion, as I said, there are n number of types of motions. It's rectilinear motion, uniform, non-uniform, periodic, non-periodic and circular motion. Now let's see the first one. Rectilinear means when a body moves in a straight line, that becomes a rectilinear motion. For example, here if I'm starting with point A and point B, means what? Suppose I have to travel from this point to this. Let's mark, this is your point A and this is your point B. Now A is at rest position, let's consider, and it wants to reach to B. As it is traveling along a straight path, that is called as a rectilinear motion. Next comes to your circular motion. Circular means when a body moves around a circular path. There is a little difference between circular motion and rotational motion. In rotational motion, the body moves around a typical axis, around a permanent axis, whereas in circular motion, body moves around a circular path. For example, if you see a clock, the hands of the clock, they keep on moving or rotating around a circular path. Whereas if you see the top will move around a typical axis. When I throw it on the ground, it will be moving around a typical axis. So do not get confused between rotational motion and circular motion. Circular motion means when a body moves around that particular circular path, whereas in rotational motion, the body moves around the typical axis. Even you can take another example for rotational motion. Instead of saying it's rotational, it can be a best example, as we all know, of periodic motion. Periodic motion means when a body moves to a particular destination within particular time. I repeat, when it comes to period, P-E-R-I-O-D, period, it means the time taken by the quantity by the body. That's why it's known as periodic motion. So the best example is a pendulum. Pendulum bob. Pendulum bob, it means what? A bob is tied to the string and it keeps on moving to and fro. To and fro means whatever is the length of the string, that much distance it goes ahead, that much distance it comes back. That movement, a continuous movement going front and coming back, is known as to and fro movement. I'll underline this. I want you people also to underline once again. The distance or the length of the bob to go ahead and to come back will depend upon the length of the string which you are using, and that is called as a pendulum. At times it is there in your clock also. You can check it out, your wall clocks. And that movement of pendulum is nothing but a periodic motion. Then non-periodic means a body keeps on moving, but there is no time limit. Means in first 5 minutes I may travel 10 seconds. For best example, when I go for a walk, what I do is I try first day for 15 minutes. I cover 2 kilometers, or for example, 12 centimeters. But next day I try to keep the time same, but I try to increase my speed and the distance also. There is a variation now. See. So my movement, my walk is not at all dependent upon the time, and that's why it's a non-periodic motion. So till now I have covered, I think, more than 4 types. One was rectilinear, circular motion, rotational, periodic, non-periodic. What else is left? Rectilinear, circular, rotational, periodic, non-periodic. Rotational and this periodic motion, at times we call it as oscillatory motion also. Because those are oscillations. Oscillations means they get repeated between certain time period and later it stops by its own. That's called as oscillation. The meaning of oscillation itself is that movement of a body around or using a particular distance. That's known as an oscillatory motion. But let's not make it complicated for class 6. So what I have made you understand till now is that motion. Motion means when a body moves from one place to another place. Displaces, I use this word. Displace means to change the place. Displacement, actually this is a vector quantity. Displacement needs the direction also and magnitude also. What it is, that I'll let you know a little later. So when a body moves from one place to another place in easier language, that is called as motion. Then coming to the types of motions, rectilinear motion, it means that when a body moves in a straight path, that is called as along a straight path, that is a rectilinear motion. Circular motion means when a body moves around the circular path. Rotational motion means when the body moves around a typical axis. Children, you will ask, ma'am, how? Or people, those who are watching, they'll say, Avanti, how? It's axis and here also. Yeah, here also it's an axis because it's a radius. And around that complete circular path, it's covering the complete circle. That's why I gave best example of hands of a clock. Whereas in here I gave you example of the top. Then it comes to your periodic motion. Periodic motion means the motion which takes place between equal intervals of time. That is called as periodic motion, and best example, movement of a pendulum. Non-periodic, it's completely irrespective of time. The body simply keeps on moving. Now movement will be for both living and non-living. When it comes to living beings, the movement is by their own. When it comes to non-living, living things make them to move. For example, if I have to move this boat, I'll use certain force and I'll try to move this boat. Now force, motion, displacement, scalar quantities, vector quantities, n number of things under physics. And now this motion has certain types, as I told you, as well as we have certain equations, certain laws of motions. Now what are these laws? Laws means it's a by law statement, it's a proved one. So we follow it. And one thing I